Perfect. Can you put it on gallery view for us? Yay. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Unite Show. My name is Kristall. This is my partner, Shine, and together we are Unite's co-founders. And you are tuning into the Unite Show, which we offer weekly on Thursdays. Normally it's at 6:15, but we're tuning in a little bit early for people in the rest of Canada to tune in, so it's not bedtime for them. So you're getting a special 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time edition. We have a wonderful, our subject today is spiritual business. So that's what we're going to be talking about with our wonderful guest speaker, Sheevaun. So she's going to be sharing some amazing wisdom with us. We're going to have time for all your Q&A. You'll be able to ask her questions. We're going to dig in and ask some of our own questions. And then we always leave a little bit of time at the end to talk about Unite, talk about your business, your offering, what you're up to in the world, and how Unite can support you. So for everyone who's just tuned in, we are recording this. We are going to be sharing it live on YouTube. So we can also send you the replay if you have to leave early and miss out. So I think that's our housekeeping. We've got our cameras on. We're all recorded. And yeah, would you want to add anything or shall we just jump right in? Okay, so thank you everyone for being here. And Sheevaun, I'd love to introduce you to the group. And if you would just take a few minutes to share what you're up to in the world, why you're as amazing as you are, and a little bit about the subject spiritual business, what we're going to be jumping into, and then we can take it from there.
Oh, okay, great. So people call me a spiritual business warrior because I focus on business, but I focus on the energy and the spiritual side more importantly. And so when somebody comes to me with a problem in their business or their startup or their idea, or, maybe they really want to get something going inside an organization, I really ask different questions and I look at it from the energetics of the success of a business profile that I have. And so the people that work with me are people who have businesses, who are more conscientious, doing good things in the world. If they're not doing good things in the world, they either can't be a client or they must start doing good things in the world. And so that's been my edict since I started doing this. I helped 4 or 5 companies get built and sold for many, many hundreds of millions of dollars and do really cool things out in the world, and realized that I got sick, misdiagnosed, nearly died, healed myself, and then started taking this into sales trainings, this idea into sales trainings. And that's when I decided to take the idea of the energy and put it into a clinic setting. And then before I knew it, I had 4 clinics and people were coming to me with different problems, and every single solution was a business solution with a spiritual bent. So that's kind of the short story.
I love that. It really is fun to hear kind of, and just very briefly, and I know we'll dig in more, just kind of exactly that journey that we all kind of have a little track. We get a little, bump from the universe to shift. And then, yeah, it's really neat that you're kind of being able to continue doing what you were doing, but from such a more aligned place. And Thank you for doing this work. It's really, really needed in the business world.
Yeah, that is exactly what I've said. It's just like, what do you mean you don't incorporate these things? And no, it's not change management. It's woo management.
Love it. Oh, that's so helpful.
When I reached out to the Facebook world and said, who wants to be a guest on the Unite Show? There was only one sort of person that because it was all just intuitive, that I didn't know. And I honestly didn't even look you up until 2 days ago. So I know I'm like, spiritual business, that's good enough. So it's cool. I'm excited that my intuition was correct. You seem awesome.
And thank you.
we're getting to, just so everyone else knows, we're getting to know each other for the first time ever, right here live, not knowing much. I don't know if you know anything about us or Unite, and I've just kind of browsed.
Maybe that.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Yeah. So I'm super excited.
Very cool. Yeah. So for everyone tuning in, this is an amazing opportunity for you as well to check in with us and reach out if you have something amazing that you think our spiritual wellness business world would love to know about. And then you too can be an amazing speaker on our Unite show. And it really is, we're all kind of on a similar path, and it's so fun when we get to cross-pollinate, co-create, collaborate, share ideas. That's our favorite thing in Unite. That's what we love to do, is bring people together. So yeah, that's what we're doing today, getting to meet Sheevaun and see what kind of magic she's up to in the world.
Mm-hmm. Sheevaun, what would be more fun for you? Do you want to talk some more? Would you like to do some Q&A with specific questions from the audience or from us? Where do you want to take it?
Since you have an audience and you've kind of seen a variety of topics, what's the thing that you've seen people struggle with most? Yeah.
Love it. I definitely say a lot of people in our community are some kind of wellness entrepreneur, having their wellness business, or business entrepreneurs with a real spiritual bend. And I'd say kind of balance is a really big piece, how to keep our integrity, internal, external, emotional, as well as kind of like ethical, and be the light we want to see in the world while still navigating marketing ourselves, navigate the actual grounded ins and outs of business. So that's a piece that I think universally everybody appreciates.
I would say I agree. I think that I'll just say the woo world, the more woo people, most of them don't come from business. I came from coding and then business. So I have a different brain set, I think. And what I think first is that if we're not doing something good for ourselves, and we kind of know these principles, if we're not doing something good for ourselves, then it can translate into not being good for others. Now, one of the good for ourselves is knowing how to ask for the sale. That's a big thing that I talk about all the time. If you don't know how to ask for the sale, especially as a woo person, or you had a big event and you used to be good at sales and all of a sudden you don't know how, which is very common, is there's a new language set that has to happen in order to ask for the sale. And that's a big thing nobody talks about. There's a new way of handling the energy, handling the conversation, handling the words, handling the phraseology, so that somebody can say a good yes. I think that's a big piece. And that will help somebody get balanced, because when we're out of balance and we're trying to use our old will ways, we're giving our energy in a way that says, hey, please suck me dry. And then we also then don't know how to receive in a healthy, happy way. And so when we learn that piece of it, it actually helps us to give and receive more organically. And I think balance is a mythology. Balance is a big mythology. I don't like the word balance because it makes us think that it's going to be like this. And I think it tricks our brain into saying, oh yeah, I'm not there, so I suck. And I think that we should be working on equilibrium, kind of like a balancing beam, right? And so what can happen is, so maybe kind of like February is a really bizarre month every year. I guarantee I've been trying to prove it wrong. So it's a bizarre month because of some energy things that happen after the holiday. And a lot of people make February a wrong month. And it's like, well, what if it's I need to regroup month? And then you can come out into a new perspective. And so that means maybe you're going to need a different style of sleep. You're going to need more water. You're going to need more nutrients. Nutrients are huge. You're going to need to meditate in a different way. You're going to need to up level in something. And big thing to allow more equilibrium is learn to do more with less with your brain. What does that mean, right? So that means we're often trying to do the hardest route because we've been taught the hardest route. And so you said you were using your intuition when you said yes, and that's cool. And most people are using their intuition in kind of an energy draining way. And so really learn how to use your intuition in a supportive, enhancing way. Just a little bit of an idea.
I love that. I can really hear, and it's always fun for me when we attract, and I think often we do attract people like yourself who have come from business to spirit and then kind of mixing it. Because like you said, it is a different, I can hear and feel the way you're approaching it is a different brainwave from me. So it's so like, it makes so much sense, but it's not the way I normally do it. So it's like, oh, I love that way of thinking. I love that reframe for balance, because I feel like it's been a trigger word for me too. And it's been a little bit of that, like, oh, I'm only good when I'm in balance. I'm only good when I'm in a high vibe state. And through a lot of listening to Abraham Hicks, I've really embraced like the contrast, and that's a lot of growth time, and it's equally as valuable as the time when we're seem to be thriving or really happy. We need those waves as well. And I love looking at February that way. It's a contrast month. It's a beautiful contrast month.
Right? It totally is every time. I think something that's interesting that you were just talking about was, I call it happying. When you try to happy things, I remember I didn't actually read the book, but I decided that I knew the contents of the book by the title, The Power of Positive Thinking. So I decided I read the book. And I don't know, I was pretty young. It was on my dad's shelf, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I'll do that. And happying will take you out of that equilibrium really fast, because you think there should only be happy things. And it should only be up, when we need what I call an upward trending flow. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice. Does anyone in the audience, if you're thinking of questions as we're going here, feel free to pop your hand up like this with the reactions at the bottom, or just unmute yourself and jump in.
Yep. And you can also type them in the comments for us, and then we can ask them as well. Otherwise, we're going to keep jamming, because this is fun for me and I love digging in.
I know for us as event hosts and producers for the last like 6 years, and then more recently as technology founders, that one of the big things that we found, and that most of our vendors have found when we do wellness events, we'll have like vendors, different massage practitioners or whatever. And pretty much across the board, when we ask them, what can we do? How can we help? More clients, more sales, more marketing, like more visibility. That's like it. Because a lot of them are really good at what they do. They're just not marketers, and they don't maybe have a business background. So they don't think in those terms. They just think, I'll just do my thing, kind of word of mouth and post on Facebook here and there. So what are your tips for either upping your marketing game or upping your mental game to then attract money to hire the people, or just, magically sit on a mountain and people come to you with money? Like what do you do?
Yeah, so this is a big drum I beat. It's a huge drum I beat. And I have people who have big companies all the way down to I'm just getting started. And the thing that everybody falls down on is marketing. And it's because, one, everybody's afraid that they're going to piss off their audience. No, they're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Say a lot of stuff. Keep saying a lot of stuff. Two, you don't know what to say and what sequence to say it. That is a huge, 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 huge piece. It's so huge, I'm actually doing a challenge on it, because it has frustrated me so much. I was like, what do I hear the same thing so many times? We don't know the sequence of the words and the energy of the sequence of the words in order to get somebody to say a yes organically and from our heart, right? And that's two. Another one is, we think if we put pretty pictures out there, people will respond. And I'm just going to break this myth right now, because I am in a high level mastermind with the greatest marketers on the planet for sure. And it's like, how ugly can you make it? You will get more stuff happening. Just truth. Sorry. I have two people that I've made test it. And one is a stylist. And I was like, listen, your posts are too pretty. I need you to post some ugly things. And sure enough, the ugly things are getting the jam.
When you say ugly, do you mean like bad pictures or just like text?
Bad pictures, fuzzy pictures, wonky pictures, skewed things.
Okay. So just not like polished like Instagram models, like more just like in the flow kind of random stuff. Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then another one is she's a health coach. She's a registered nutritionist and a health coach. Really amazing at what she does. And everything was yay this, yay that. And I was like, stop yaying. No yaying. Yay is nice, but I want you to post some weird crap. The weirder the crap with the right words, the better the engagement. So she went from a couple posts, and she's making good money. She went from a couple likes and comments and a few people reaching out to now I just looked the other day. I hadn't watched in a while. And I just looked the other day and she's getting like 100, 330, and she's getting people like really playing the game. Nice. So I think we have a big misunderstanding about marketing that has to be super pretty, super polished, super perfect.
What's weird crap?
I know. I mean, sorry, I'm a little unethical about what I say, but it actually gets read. It gets read in your brain.
It's great. Yeah. What is it though? Like what's an
crap?
Example?
Oh, yeah, that's great. So what's weird crap? So let's use the stylist as an example. So she's amazing. Her clothes are beautiful. She's well put together, great photos, And I was like, listen, you need to have people who have like weird things from those shows, from those runway shows, and say, would you actually wear this weird crap?
Oh, that's fine.
A skewed hat, something that looks weird or that's buttoned weird or has, you have to focus on a little bit more weird because your brain is already saying that when you're looking at this stuff. So why don't you just put it out there, right? So you're a healer and you're talking about all of these results and all these things. Listen, I know I've helped 100,000 people using healing stuff. I get it. Talking about the results and all these cool things and law of attraction, and that's nice. But at the end of the day, people's brains retain information in a different way. And if you use the right words in the right way with the right energy, then it becomes automatic.
It's like cute puppies and things, weird stuff like that, or pretty people probably are like three of the top producing social things, along with like outrage.
No, not really. No? Cute puppies, yeah, but cute puppies don't make a sale. No, right. That's true. Pretty people don't make a sale, right? Unless they say the right things with the right contrast. And generally it's just, they're often not getting the right person that is coming in. So that's really interesting. And then what's happening is you're speaking from your perspective. The worst thing people do is they speak from their perspective. You're not the customer. You haven't been the customer since day one. Talk to your customers. Your customers have your words. I mean, ask your customers, hey, so what did you think about this? Listen, the reason I started focusing on business because I have a school for energy stuff and it's amazing. But the reason I focused on the energy and the energetic solutions stuff for business is a client said to me, me and my friends have gotten together and we found out we knew you and you've helped our businesses and I want you to pay attention. I said, okay, what are you talking about? She said, you've all made us millions of dollars. And I said, oh, shut up. just no. She said, no, I'm going to tell you what we all decided, that you're not focusing on the business, which you are expert at. And I think you need to focus on that. And I had to have a client tell me that.
Oh, wow.
So I listened and I have 20 audios because I heard it from a client. I have 17 books because I heard it from a client. And so the messaging is there. You just have to have somebody help you extract it. Does that make sense?
Cool. Yeah. So what you're saying is if you're trying to market something, so is that where like using the wording in someone's testimonial would be helpful? Like if they're talking about what I came in with a backache and they were I got a great massage from them for these reasons, then that would kind of, then your marketing would be like, do you have a backache?
A little bit, but you're going to have to actually help them reframe the words so it helps the person reading it say, oh, that's me. And so generally when we get testimonials, and this is one of the worst things ever, and one of the ways I helped one of the first companies grow and get sold is we took all of those things that somebody would say about the product and what it did for them, and we had to rework it and get their permission about how we worked it. And it said the exact same thing, just in a more palatable way for our brain to digest it and say, oh, yes, I want that. Yeah. So there's an interesting thing out there called ChatGPT. Interesting. It will help you, but if you don't know how to use the words right, it's not going to help you as much as you want. So that's pretty interesting in thinking about that little technology. And so my suggestion is study marketing people. I love really interesting marketing messages. There's a book that's very expensive. It's like $400. And a friend of mine owns the rights to some guy who died a long time ago. I think it's called Claude Hawkins. I don't remember what it is. Something advertising, something. It's black. It's a black book. It's expensive, but I'm telling you, the reason I'm saying it is it's old, but old is the way that actually gets a sale. Because that's actually how the guy, that's all he did, is he sold based upon words. And I think we really mess up today with the idea of images rather than words. We think an image is going to sell, and the words are the things that actually always sell.
Wow. What about video, where you have both?
Well, you can't have both. It's a little tricky because it's got to be, there's like a whole psychology of, you got to say the right words in the video and then the right words on the landing page in order to get the right thing to get them to click. It's really fascinating. I actually geek out on this every day for about an hour and a half because I think I don't know anything. And I figure if I study a little bit, then I'll at least stay current. Yeah, that's how important I think words are in our language. And I think we, especially energy-wise as well, I think we give up our words to what I call lazy wordsmithing. And I think that cheats it. I think that cheats woo people so much. And woo people are the ones that are here to transform the world. Come on. I love it. I'm a little passionate.
No, it's perfect.
It's great. It's great. So my experience is that there's so many things that could be done, so many marketing tricks, so many emails, so many posts, all the things, and projects and whatever. And the limiting factor is my ability to be in a good enough flow state to actually do it or delegate it or attract the idea or whatever. So what do you do for people and for yourself to help people kind of navigate the negative emotions when they're not feeling great, and then get into those higher states, and then focus and know what to do, when to do it, when they're in that place where they have energy and excitement for work?
Yeah, so I teach people how to find their unique energy in their unique style of day. So it's tricky for everybody's different. I have a lady who it's right now, it's so weird. I'm like, okay, that's weird to me, but whatever. Her unique time of day is from 9 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Okay, whatever. That's where she makes the most sales. Okay.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed. So you have to really find that unique you-ness in it. And you need a sequence. You need what I call is a repeatable sequence. So meaning you have an energy thing that you do, or a meditation or whatever, is be consistent with that. So, and don't cheat yourself of it, because as soon as you cheat yourself of it, the results start getting not great. And then give yourself permission to do a lot of things, but only one real big thing at a time. And so I'll give you an example of us. So we just changed the skin of my main website, the Sheevaun Moran website. And the guy who is my tech guy, he's like, here, yeah, I want to get it done. I was like, who are you? You never want to get this done this fast. Oh, okay. I said, but remember, there's a process. And as we went through the process, you know, he got to the end result faster than he would have in the way he was trying to do it. So if you can follow a process and use a system, you know, and ritualize it, what occurs is then you can do what I call more with less. So if you have a lot of things coming at you, woo people tend to keep them in their head. I mean, I get it. I know. And I've had to train my brain to write every single idea down in my notes, in my thing, and how I have a couple different ways, and nothing can land in the team sphere for them to do anything until it's a fully formed idea.
Nice.
And so that's kind of, and the energy is ripe and right for it. And so we have this really cool system we use that's called Trello. And we have an elegant way of using Trello that is different than anybody else. And we've actually taught a lot of people, a lot of teams how to use this because it's so elegant. And it forces you to be really simple. It forces simplicity. And I'm a coder, I'm an ex-coder. So I think elegant code is important in order to get a result that is going to go further and faster. And I'm like you, I got a lot of ideas, man. Oh, whew. Yeah.
So we use Asana, and I love the board view, which is similar to Trello, I think. And so what's the secret? What's the structure of it? What's the basics of how to use it properly?
I don't know I can send you a video training on it. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but it's, you know, it's very simple. It's not as complex as most people use. It's not a lot of things. It's really very, what would I say? It's kind of like Japanese Zazen, you know? And I see your little screen behind you, and that's kind of what it is. It's very simplified in that. And people try to break it all the time. I make all my clients use it. And I'm like, no, you got to do it in here. No, I won't talk to you unless it's in here. And what it has done is it helped them all have a seamless experience in business. Like we just brought on a new ads person, and they use that thing called, what's it called? That I don't, is Slack. Yeah. Like, why would you call something Slack? Like, it's a really bad word, Slack. You want to Slack on stuff? Come on. And then it's the most chaotic thing in the world.
I don't use Slack.
Right? Like the energy, the word and the energy, and then the execution. And so interesting. I said, no, we don't use that. And what we've done is we've taken 10 to 15 steps out of their entire process just by the way we use Trello.
Beautiful.
Interesting. So when we're doing it, we'll have kind of some sort of prioritization of like, here's the urgent and important things that need to get done ASAP, and then here's different projects, and try and kind of organize by priorities. But there ends up being a lot. And I find often I'm like, fuck, I just got to start out. Like, I just got to create a new board because it's overwhelming. I don't want to deal with all that. Like, I just need like more simple. Like, what do you say?
So here's what happened. I was at a friend of mine. I don't know if you know Russell Brunson. He's a friend. Yeah. And so I was at a thing, and they were off having lunch, and I'm vegetarian, so like they don't ever have food for me. And so I was sitting with my other vegetarian friend who happened to be an ex-NASA engineer. And he said, we started talking about optimization and blah, blah, blah. And he said something Trello. And I said, Trello? And he went, Trello? And we both just kind of clicked on this idea. And I said, how do you use Trello? And he said, how do you use Trello? That's great. And so we ended up sitting there for 20 minutes and creating the system that we use still to this day. And it's based upon not what you're talking about. It's based upon, because I think I used to do what you're talking about before he and I had that brain meld. And I actually made him do a presentation on it, so you can watch his.
Amazing.
I need this video yesterday.
I know, right?
I need it.
I'll have the team send it. I don't know where it is, but it's good. It's important because it goes through it, and it's just like, and we run 8 companies on it, and it's sane. It's very sane.
Yeah.
It's so great. Oh, this is worth it for me. Show over. Take it from here.
I love it. I really love your the concept you began with, which is getting the stuff out of our head. Because I feel like I do that, like I'll do that in like grocery list style, like get the bullet points down. But do you kind of get like, are you saying like get everything, like all the bits and pieces out as well? Okay. Because I feel like that's where I get stuck. I'm like, okay, when I get to the point where I've got like a task, I'll get it out of my head. But while I'm mulling it, it sits there and it just gets like smushed around and around. And I know if it's a negative idea or like a trigger that I'm working on, I'm more disciplined because I'm like, nope, this is garbage thinking. This isn't positive. I'm like, oh, they were mean to me. Whatever the thing is, I didn't do a good enough. I'm like, I can catch those. But the ones that I think are like positive, creative, helpful, but I'm not fully formed, they just keep churning around. So
okay, so I'm going to give you a different perspective. So those poopy, I call them poopy things. So those poopy things aren't that poopy because actually they're going to help you morph something into something more positive. So stop trying to throw away those poopy things because the poopy things, there's trash in the treasure. There's treasure in the trash. Yeah. There's trash in the treasure too.
Both ways. We could find the trash in the treasure to turn it back into treasure. I get it.
That's exactly right. But really, don't try to work that. Is just write them all down. I call it non-judgment around what's coming out and put it in so that what can happen is you can take that idea and say, oh, that applies over here. Nice. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'll tell you something. It's interesting. I was doing an event in Arizona. It was a big event, and I'd gotten a lot of really ugly emails. A lot of ugly emails. And I was just like, I'm driving back home, and I was like, I was a little fired up. I put my phone up like this long before carpool karaoke, and I was like, and I'm driving for your success. And I went off on a tirade. And that became a podcast, which now I have 300 episodes. So that poopy stuff became something that is now something for a lot of people. So yeah, don't throw that away.
Nice.
Interesting.
I really, actually, that's reminded me again, going back to contrast, and I really love the way you've reframed that. And for me, there have been, when there's like a really big thing that I'm stuck on, something with my ex, something with my kids, I will do that kind of like write down like the challenge and then kind of spring to like what I want better or how that could be better. And I find that gets that creative, like, oh yeah, I really hate how that conversation went. How can I have a better conversation? And then I start to brainstorm on like better conversations. So I have done that kind of idea on those bigger ideas, but it's true that with all the kind of the in-between stuff that I don't think is that bad or that good, I'll just kind of like brush it away. So I love that idea of like, if it's there, to kind of give it a little space to run out and see what's going to come from it.
Yeah. Use it because it's being given to you to be used for something.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Instead of kind of being in that, like, I think I run a little bit of lack capacity. I did like the busy single mom with 2 babies, and kind of like I have limited energy, limited space, and like limited brain space. So I feel like I have to be disciplined with what I give my energy to, disciplined with where I let my thoughts run. And I like that kind of idea of looking at it like you said, this has been given to me, what's going on with this? And even if I think it's a bit of a poopy spiral, what could come from that? So I love that reframe. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Any audience questions yet? Anyone have anything?
I know they're hogging all your space.
That's good.
It's okay. We're happy to keep just milking it for what we want.
Keep playing.
And we know actually a lot of people have a lot of fun watching the replays as well. So we get a lot of views and a lot of nice questions, and excitement comes from that. So everyone can tune in and get the juice. Why don't you tell us? Oh, Kira, you've got a question?
Yes. I wonder what your thoughts are on the whole one thing like theory that's out in there in the business world. Like you got to focus on one thing. You got to be known for one thing. Like you got to, build only one thing, and later you can explore like how focused or what your thoughts on that whole like narrow it down to one thing.
Yeah, I think you have to have. So what is your business?
I'm transitioning to helping single parents through some communicating and connecting with their kids.
Okay, so is it communicating and connecting, or is it parents?
It's parents connecting with their kids.
Right. So look how I made you do that, get to a really simplified version, right? I made you take all of that you said, and I made you simplify it to okay, here's the essence of it, and then many things underneath. What's that guy's name? Simon Sinek. He says, "Oh, you need a why," and I'm like, "No, you don't. You need a bag of whys. You need a big bag of whys." And because one why is just not enough. I like who, that's just lunacy. One why. The guy is making millions of dollars on you need a why, and it's like, no, we need lots of whys. And so the one thing idea is you have to synthesize it to, I have a woman who we helped her, she has a branding agency, and we helped her extract her own brand out of herself, because that's tough to do for yourself. And she got to the soul of the brand, right? And but all of the other stuff she does is very important in how it all works together. But it was the overarching essence that had to be the one thing, and then it goes into the many things. So you want to have one that go to many, and you have to focus on one thing in order to get traction, especially if you're new. And you're trying to do many in different ways, is you have to have one essence that somebody can glom onto, and they can start hearing the same and the same and the same and the same and the same. My company is called Energetic Solutions. We talk about the energetics and the energetic alignment. I've been talking about energetic solutions and energetic alignment for over 15 years. And people know me as the energy, the queen of energy, because it's an energetic alignment. There's always an energetic essence to it. And so you really want to synthesize it to that. Does that make sense?
Yes, I have that. So
yay.
I'm good there. So
yay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That you can focus out, but keeping that's good reinforcement. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Nice one, Kira.
So we'll just use this podcast as a coaching session, if you don't mind.
I charge a lot, dude.
I know. That's one of the perks of doing the show. No, well, if you're open, we're at that stage of finding product market fit for our technology company, where we've built something, people are using it. It's kind of happening, but it's not like crazy taken off. Of course, talk to customers, test different things, on paper first. But any thoughts on sort of a startup technology company finding product market fit?
I always think it's about the name. The name is really important. If you don't get the name, and I've helped a lot of folks change the names, because boy, the names they come to me with, they are just like, are you serious? That's nobody's gonna get that.
We're called Unite, so it's pretty simple.
Yeah. That's a big idea. And so a big idea requires, it requires a different essence through and through and through. And so is your question about product market fit, or is it scalability?
Product market fit. Getting that first thing that people are like, oh my God, I love it. I'm going to share it with everyone. And just like how to test for that, how to figure that out, whether it's intuitive or external. Just curious.
And what's the technology?
So we've built basically a like Facebook type social network mixed with like an Amazon type marketplace, put them together, and it's all about wellness. And the idea is to help people connect to the right either free content or product service event or other people community, and to help make it really personalized so they can find, you know, the perfect massage for them in 5 minutes or less versus hours of research or whatever they're looking for. And then that also then brings organic sales to the businesses without them having to do a ton of marketing.
And is it a free service or a paid service?
It's free, and then we'll take a percentage of the sale like Airbnb.
I think the challenge is communicating to that person who is the woo person, that that's the service that's going to get them the thing. It's kind of it's kind of the same problem that ZocDoc had, and ZocDoc ended up spending hundreds of millions of dollars, probably $1 billion, to get to where they are now. And they bought market. And so the challenge is you have I don't want to poop on woo people, but you have beautiful woo people who don't have a true knowledge about how to grow and expand a business. I think the challenge is that. And it has to be such a no-brainer. You know what I mean?
Well, that's exactly what we're really wanting to do, is take so that we can simplify so that the practitioners can do what they want to do, and the people looking for the service can find it quickly, like what Airbnb has done. So you can find a listing very quickly because all of them are right there. It's very clear, it's very simple, it's very easy. And we really want to take away the practitioners' need to be as expert marketers as it feels like they kind of need to be right now. So by kind of creating that one-stop shop where people know to go to look for them, and then also helping them, like a lot of what you're doing, very clearly and simply express themselves and present themselves, so it's really easy for people to say yes.
I don't think it's a product market fit issue. I think it's a communication issue.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think it's a product market fit at all. I really think it's about communication, because the word unite is very aspirational. But it doesn't, like Airbnb says what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I'm pooping on your word, but a little bit.
That's okay.
You asked, so here we go.
We're totally down.
Kristall loves negative feedback. She's stoked about it.
I mean, I do my events and it's just like my thing turns on. It's like, wow. Sorry, it's a little direct, but that's who I am now. That's how I get results. I don't believe it's a product market fit. I really believe that I think there's a disconnect in communication. There's a disconnect in the communication. There's a disconnect in the model being executed out to the user. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because it's the actual sort of thing that we want to have happen, where someone posts an event and it sells out organically with no marketing, or they post their service of massage or whatever and it sells out with no marketing. That can only happen when there's a bunch of people on there. And so
there are a lot of folks that have done this, and I've been part of them. And good God, some of the best brains in the world. I mean, the guy who built, I don't know what company he built. He tried it and it broke him. I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you that it's been tried.
Yeah. It's a challenging thing.
It's not that it's impossible.
No.
I'm still going to go. It's definitely a communication thing. It's what I said. It's a communication thing, and there's an energetic disconnect. So when I look at the energy of it, there's a big gap between where the idea is and where the execution of the model is.
Yeah, because that's the challenge, is we have to find a way for enough people to want to join it and use it before it actually can do the thing that we say it can do. So we have to sort of have a pre-thing that we'll get. It's like we need to take them to dinner before we ask them into the bedroom or something. Like we need pre-something that actually.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a Facebook group that you just blow up and expand into something that's huge, and then move the market over. I mean, that's what I would do if I were in that.
We're doing that with Facebook, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like we've branded for, I mean, we want to do the technology is one piece of it. We do events, we want to do spaces as well. So we've kind of tried to brand a big enough umbrella to cover everything. And I wonder if what you're saying is we need to kind of at least brand a part of it right now for a very specific detailed piece before we're trying to get people on board with the whole big vision up front.
Yeah, because there was something around that was called Unite about 15 years ago. I've been doing this freaking forever. And they got huge. But the financial model never allowed the organization to truly grow.
Yeah.
And same thing with the other guy. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he built a huge platform before he started this other thing, and then he had to give it up. But you do need to have something that's more narrow to bring it forth, because Unite is very aspirational, and that's great. Me, the woo in me is like, yay. The business side of me says, and
we just had a call with a guy who built I don't know how big it is, but very, very many millions of dollars in revenue business that connected therapists who do a specific type of autism therapy with parents and kids and people with autism. And it was all insurance paid for. So he would just bill the insurance company and they would pay a little deductible and it was done. And he said that once he figured that out, because he was just doing kind of one-to-one and it was only for rich people because it was $40,000 a year. And once he kind of figured out the model of the insurance thing, he had so much backlog that he couldn't fulfill every month. No matter how many people he hired, there was always so much more coming in and it just went crazy. And so he said, oh, you should do that for Unite. You should pick therapists or something that's covered by insurance and then help people find that way, or something like that, something more niche and specific. So we're looking into that. But
maybe, but I see what you say you have, and that kind of breaks that model, what you say. And so, you throw insurance in and I don't know, it kind of gets slimy. And, but the thing that's important is what problem are you solving for people that they don't even know that they have? And I don't think you have that identified.
Interesting.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's the piece that we're always working on, because it's a two-sided market. So we want to solve.
Yeah, but you have to pick your side.
Yeah. So maybe that's it, because we want to solve both people's problems.
No, you can't. You have to pick a lane. No, you have to pick a lane. Yeah. So you can't drive on both sides of you have to pick a lane.
Yeah.
Nice. What would you recommend coming into a two-sided market? Who would you pick, the consumer or the?
I don't know. I'd have to do a whole lot of research. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, that would be a research thing to be, and I'd have to do my thing that I do, and it's a thing. I did this thing that nobody can do, and it's super cool, and it always works. So I'm like,
I love it. We've got two questions. I think Melanie had her hand up first.
Yeah.
So if you want to go for it, Melanie. And thank you, Sheevaun. That was fun. I appreciate you.
Hi, everyone. It's not a question, it's a feedback comment for Unite. So I did mention in the chat that I feel like you guys are a go-to online directory. So maybe if you wanted to, because to me, I think the problem that you're solving for us is you guys are the go-to directory. Like if you wanted to make a slogan or have a statement that this is what we do, this is how we help.
Nice.
That's my idea. Yeah.
So as a customer, more, it's a place where you can go and find all the best stuff.
Yeah, because whenever you guys talk about yourselves and what you offer, I feel like, okay, you're just a directory for us and we can go to you anytime we want, and you really want to help and support us. So
that's nice.
That's how I think of it. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you, Melanie.
That's great feedback. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be interesting to use our words and focus them more specifically so people know what it is.
We'll get our words from our consumers. Thank you, Melanie.
Mr. Chi, that's all we have as your name.
It's Jerry.
Jerry, yes.
The one thing about woo-woo, if you could name a company or a product, woo-woo all or woo-woo everything, is that most people in the world who use the term woo-woo aren't impressed. And it doesn't really make the effort. It doesn't help. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I do a lot of work with people who have the talent to be very gifted healers, whose families have used the term, keep that woo-woo out of the family place, keep that woo-woo out of the business.
Yeah.
And it is a negative term. I would really like to find a term where we could incorporate everybody's energetic, metaphysical efforts that would help. You know, maybe you have to add woo-woo unite. I'm not sure.
No. I like wellness or well-being. Those are terms we use a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm never afraid to use the thing woo-woo ever, because this is one of our logos, right?
What does it say? The money and the wings?
Yeah.
I love it.
So it's the woo-woo and the moolah, and it's moolah.
Moolah? I like it.
I love it.
There you go.
That's fun.
And
which
so
is
coming from business and coming from marketing, it's really about going direct to the information and making sure the energy is really solid so that, people always accept the idea. And it's very much, you listen, I'm doing this forever and it's pretty accepted right now. I got a lot of people saying, hey, can you do that woo crap thing too? Yeah, sure, totally. Can you help me with that woo crap with my business? Yes, I can.
Yeah, it can be like a tongue-in-cheek, like a way of, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't, if I'm looking for something, I'm not looking for that word, because to me as a practitioner, and I've been doing this for 13 years, as a practitioner, I don't find that a beneficial term to use with people that know me and people that practice all the time. Yeah, you can throw that in and everybody smiles and giggles. But when you ask them, what does your family think about what you do? And it's like woo-woo.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's always negative.
Yeah. And I always say, yay.
I think it's actually a really good example of what we were talking about, of whether it's coming from business to spirit or spirit to business. And it sounds like, Gary, I think a lot of your community and you are coming from spirit into business. And there, I agree, it can be a triggering word when you're coming from that place because of the way the business world throws it out as a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek. And I hear in the business world, I've heard it a lot, much more as a little tongue-in-cheek, but also actually as an aspiration. It is kind of something that they're aspiring to be, and something that there is like, I wish I could be like that, and I wish I could have more of that in my life. So I think I can hear both sides, and I agree that I know I've heard it both ways, where it's either, like you're saying, kind of a fun compliment that the business world wants to work towards, and I've heard it as a negative, exactly, get that woo-woo crap out of my house, as a kind of a put down and a belittling of that kind of spirit side. So I think that's another really funny example for us with Unite, is that is exactly what we want to be. We want to be the bridge between those two worlds. And this is a prime example of how to market to our community when we have both these. So even using one word, which is so controversial, how do we need to do different maybe we do different marketing for each community, because it really
absolutely yes, absolutely, because we do too. I mean, we have very, very kind of business oriented language for certain pieces of the business. But at the end of the day, they all want to come in and they don't care they don't care what's done, so long as they get the result. Whether it's woo or it's not. And so you always have multiple language sets for different sides, because that's the only way to get both people's left brain and right brain playing the game. And I get what he was saying. I was just making a little fun.
don't get me wrong. I've been in marketing most of my life, and my wife and I had several very, very big businesses that were very successful.
Yeah.
In this life, she passed away 13 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
That was when, computers were just starting to become interesting. And so my experience with marketing was all, not totally, but at that time we were successful in other avenues of promotion.
Yeah.
But I'm a practitioner. I'm a Reiki master. I teach. I also have Dencham. I do crystal therapy. There's 7 different modalities that I practice on a day-to-day basis. Those don't blend into one company name. The company that I've got is Natural Energy Wellness, which covers it, but like nobody knows what the hell that means except me. I'm the only one that knows what that means. Well, you guys would too, but I'm the only one that knows what's involved in it.
Yeah.
I would love the answer to make what I do available and easy to find. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't have a whole hell of a lot of money to spend doing it either.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I would say to you, a recommendation I would say is take the things that your clients are saying about the results that they're getting and put them all into a spreadsheet and start matching those words up. And then what I always say is mash them up. I came up with woo-la because one day I was on stage and I was like, y'all are just woo-laws. And you like the woo and like the moo, woo-la. And you just start mashing some words together, and I have a feeling that you'll come up with a language set that your people can identify with to say, hey, he's the person to help me.
Yeah. Nice. I really like that. Yeah.
And that's really the vision that we have for Unite as well, is to be that spot where there can be enough kind of testimonials as well as studies that show how different modalities help different things. And then there's all the ratings and reviews. So if someone comes on and it's like, oh, I can't sleep and I have headaches, and energy healing has helped people like them, then it would show them. And if you were highly rated, you'd come to the top, and it would just be like an organic way of just getting people coming in. And that's the eventual idea. And we'll get there. It'll come.
That's cool. So
we just have to meditate on the hula.
Yeah, let's get that out in front of people.
Strangely enough, one of the things that I have promoted, and I don't sell it, I sort of just do it for people, is subconscious reprogramming. And I have been very successful in encouraging people with MS and CP and stuff like that who have taken on this opportunity, and it's helped them with their autoimmune system illnesses really, really well. But again, people that don't have an autoimmune problem, they don't connect with that kind of thing. And if they have a headache and they want to get rid of their headache, sure, I'll help you with that.
Yeah.
But it's not what I really like doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, good. I like your show. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I love the idea of people having those niches where it's like, oh, this is the person that helps people with MS naturally, or like that's a specialty, and it's backed up by all these testimonials, and then there's some research on it, and that it sort of builds that brand. And I guess like you're saying, Sheevaun, like that can kind of happen organically, but once you see it, it's good to then capture that and use the words and share that. And I like that.
Yeah.
Look at us creating ideas and things and getting to stuff. Sheevaun, what do you want people to know about you? How can people work with you? Anything you're looking for support with?
Yeah.
Maybe we're doing that challenge in the next week or something. I don't know, sometime soon. I don't know when it is. And it's called woolaw.life. You go to woolaw.life.
No.
I love it.
That's great.
But no, if somebody wants to reach out, I'm about resources. Watch my emails, because I practice what I preach about writing. So watch my emails and play around with it.
Nice.
You use me as a model. It's fine. It's great. And if I can really help you grow your business, I've got everything from a $20 up to way more. Thing. And so, whoever is supposed to be here, they'll be here. I mean, that's the way it's been from the beginning, and that's just the way I play.
I love it. Whenever we do a Unite show, we ask our special guests to send us over some links, and I've never got so many links from one person before. So it doesn't matter what platform you are on, she is there. Every single there. I think there was like 12. I'm like, I didn't even remember that. So, oh my God, it was amazing. So really, there's no excuse.
So I'm going to tell you something about that. He's a savant about Google and Google Ads. And they were giving him a hard time on stage one day. And he said, well, let me show you what my signature looks like. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing that.
I do that too.
Yeah.
My email signature has like 12 links.
That's the way. It's the best.
Gary Vee told me to do that.
Yeah.
He's like, why not? You'll just get a few every day, every time you send an email.
Yeah.
That's right. Because people will digest it the way they want.
It really is exactly that. I find every platform has a different flavor and something different will be shared on it. And whenever I find somebody I like, I do the research to find them on the different platforms that I'm using. And it's just so refreshing to be like, oh, I don't have to sift and sort. So if you go to the event page, everyone, go on Unite, find the event page for this event. And I think it was the comment I made, or the post I made this afternoon, sharing all the links, and go check them out. And yeah, just all the links are there. You don't have to sift and sort. YouTube, Pinterest, like amazing. I want to see.
And you got a free thing?
Yeah, there's a free gift. Tell us.
We have a free thing, totally free thing. It's really important. And then today I was told that I was trending. I don't even know what trending is, honestly.
Oh, that's so fun.
I was like trending on TikTok or something. I don't even do TikTok. I was like, how do you trend?
You have a good team.
I'm very grateful for them. I'm very, very grateful.
Amazing.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you both. This was fun, total fun. This is the way I like to serve, and just as much as I can.
Love it.
Aww,
anything else you want to share before you go?
Oh gosh, drink more water.
Cheers.
Drink more water.
Shine it out. You do lots of that. I really appreciate your perspective on wording, on consciousness around wording, but not rigidity. I feel like that's, again, can kind of swing the other way, where you're like, okay, don't use this word, don't use that word, don't be PC, whatever, or do be PC or whatever. And I really appreciate your awareness of being aware about our wording, but not being anal about it. So that's just a beautiful, refreshing approach. And I'm excited to now I feel inspired to look through, what have people been saying about us? And please, everybody tuning in, please tell us what you think of us, so that we can start to pull those nuggets out of what you think of the Unite show, what you think of what we're doing with Unite, so that we can follow this wonderful feedback and advice and start to really position ourselves in a way that makes sense to you guys, because you are our community, you are our customers, and we're building this for you.
I love it. Any of the audience have anything else? Any questions before we go? Nothing. All right.
Love you all.
Love you. This was so fun. Thank you.
And thank you so much for being here with us. Check out Unite at www.unite.love and let us know what you think. And join us next week, Thursday, at 6:15 Pacific Standard Time. Yep. And we are talking about
Havel, conscious leadership.
Conscious leadership. He's an amazing leader. Oh, just the way he holds space is so beautiful. So any way that you want to lead in your life, I highly recommend tuning in for that one.
Yeah, so. He works with HeartMath, and he's also a leadership coach for high-level CEOs and stuff.
Yeah.
Super cool dude, living in California, Lake Tahoe, and San Francisco.
Yeah.
All right.
Check out our amazing special guests, all her amazing links, and follow up, play, get the free gift, and join the challenge at Woolah. There you go.
WOOLAH.LIFE.
Nice. Woolah.life. So check her out there. I know we will. So
thank you.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.